It's going to do it. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to I Am Wes. This is the, second, third time that we've tried this today. Today, I have with me Jeya Love, and she is a fantastic, not only a tarot reader, she has her Facebook page, Jeya Journeys, also on Instagram, but she is also one of the key members and supporters of something that um, I really think is important to all of us, and that is gratitude with the daily gratitude movement. So go ahead, Jay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the project? Tell us about yourself and how it matters and why people should care.
Hi everyone. Yes, Wes. It is definitely such a beautiful movement. The daily gratitude movement. Our mission is to touch every life by helping people to harness the power of daily gratitude. And so when they harness the power of daily gratitude, there's a lot of self empowerment, a lot of changes that people make, transformations that occur, and it's so beautiful. And in that power, there is this sort of camaraderie that is created with everybody because we're all going through these transformations together, and we're able to really, with the consistency, become more self-aware and become more having this self-confidence of self-authenticity. It's a lot of self with everyone involved. That's the beauty about it, is that it's a collaboration. And so we're trying to now bring the benefits. We have seen the actual benefits of this, which is pretty remarkable, with a lot of people that are in the movement that are members of the Clubhouse variation of the movement, which is an audio platform. If you guys haven't heard of Clubhouse, Clubhouse is an audio platform. And that's where the movement really is it's really taking wind there. And you can really see a lot of the different dynamics of people and how they're connecting. And I want to say connecting with their self and connecting with the environment around them. And it pours out from just a phone app to, gratitude in the daily and how they view their world. It really shifts the perspective. And in that power, we're really trying to help people that have the handy abled community. That's where you can really see it impact. We have specific people that have been in the movement for a couple of years now. And, some of them have different handy abled qualities that are going on. Some have, cerebral palsy and different things. And it kind of ranges. Everybody's got something that they're struggling through too. Like sometimes it's life things or, just growing pains. And when we go in there and share, there's a very big difference over time in how we perceive our world. So what we're doing, the idea now, is to bring it from Clubhouse to your house, everywhere, to bring it everywhere. So right now we're focusing on bringing it to the handy abled communities and worldwide, and to bring it to businesses. So that way there's gratitude, the ethics and everything can really have a positive impact with the power of gratitude. And I think it'll really solidify the dynamic between business and customer relations, because there's a sense of gratitude. And the third one is the schools. We're bringing it into the. Mm-hmm.
Right. That's really huge. And I'll post that up again. The Clubhouse app. That's actually where. Well, it's kind of where we first met online. Was in the Clubhouse app. And for people that don't know, this app is huge for like. It's kind of like, what would you say? It's kind of like having a bunch of little mini podcasts, sort of, or something like that. And the gratitude movement is on there like what, almost 24/7, right? And we just, people come on and we just talk about the things that we're grateful for. And I know, like for me, um, gratitude, I first kind of figured out when I got into recovery, right? And sobriety. And, because you can't be grateful and want to get loaded, or you can't be grateful and have a heart full of love and at the same time have fear or resentment or hate at the same time. And so for me, like I've seen that play out in every day, right, in my life. And so when I first stumbled onto this, I was like, man, you know what? This is something that's bigger than anything. And I think there's also like I want to say that it's kind of contagious, right? Like, do you notice how like I can remember like days where I was not really having the best start to my day, and just by simply having a gratitude list, and then to go further, being able to go onto the Clubhouse app and share it with people, and to hear other people's gratitude list, and it kind of switches something. And then the rest of my day all of a sudden is completely different, right? And it really does affect a large part of our society that we've forgotten about, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I think what it does is it unifies people because you hear somebody's gratitude, over here on this part of the world, you hear somebody else's gratitude in a different part of the world. They're having a whole different day. They have a whole different thing. Even across the country, there's different parts of the country where I'm in California. We got earthquake stuff that we look out for. But like in other parts of the country, there's people that are like, "Oh, there's a tornado coming." And we've been on there during different situations, natural disasters, just supporting one another and really being there with, the power of gratitude, just being the center of focus during tough times. It really is such a very beautiful thing that we're doing, and it's just bringing that out to the world. I think it's really going to change the world. It really is. It
Yeah, I
already
think so
is.
too. Yeah, yeah, it already is. Because like it's really easy for us to forget how well we have it, right? And sometimes I might be feeling really, low or down about myself or what's going on, right? And then it takes that connection to somebody else who's like so excited and happy and thrilled over like, and I'm like thinking, why am I so upset? I've got everything to be grateful for. And it really, it's powerful. It's powerful. It's something that I figure like our society is missing, right? Like things like law of attraction, like just telling people that you love them, um, being more authentic with yourself, and understanding that it might feel really uh, I don't know what the word is, bad, uncomfortable, whatever the situation is for each individual, but as a whole, as a collective, it's not that bad, right? And we can, by shifting our focus into gratitude, we start being able to get into solutions easier, right? I start to figure out, okay, so this is bothering me about this part of my society or my neighborhood or my environment. Well, what can I do to flip that? What can I do now to change that and bring more love and embracing concept to, is it like homelessness, right? Or like wage disparity, or like, I mean, we've got, you can just write a list after list after list, and it takes me from focusing on problems to then start focusing on solutions. And that's where I think the real magic is, right? Because now I'm not locked
Mhm.
in on a problem anymore. I'm figuring, what can I do? I'm getting creative, and I'm breaking that that mindset that allows me to just be ungrateful and sad and bitter and fearful and all of those things. Whereas gratitude's the exact opposite. Gets rid of the fear, gets rid of the closed mind, gets rid of the separation, gets rid of that illusion, and it brings us to the part where like, man, we can actually change something with just one thing, just a little gratitude list of three things, and it grows.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you brought that up about what we attract. It's kind of, it's like that law of attraction. When we want, and we receive whatever we put out there. We put out there
That's
doubt,
right.
we're going to receive more to doubt. We
That's
put
right.
out there something, like encouraging, like, man, I'm grateful that I got that. I'm grateful. Then you're telling, the universe or your higher power, you're telling them that you like this, you appreciate this, and then you get that more. And so
That's
it's
right.
like that's how we can really harness that abundant lifestyle, because abundance isn't just a like, oh, I got a whole lot of lubba lubbas. I always say lubba lubbas, okay.
I was
But
waiting for that.
I had to throw in the lubba lubbas, but
You
like,
got it.
you
Yeah,
know there
it's the
you don't have
trademark.
like a whole bunch of those, right? You got you if you want a whole bunch of those, you just say, I'm grateful for this one. And then you I was gonna say lubba lubba. It's not with the S at the end of it this time. It's just lubba lubba lubba. And
It's
so
the most shiny lava lava I ever had.
I'm so grateful for this one lubba lubba. And then like now you got like five coming for you. Now you got 10 coming for you. And you just continuously have a gratitude, a deep appreciation for what you have, and you receive more of that. And you know, sometimes abundance, because abundance mindset is more of like sometimes people focus on the item, but a mindset of abundance is knowing that there's always more than enough. And there's always more than enough that's delivered for you. And when you're grateful for that, you're just hand in hand with, your higher power and able to really receive. You're open to receive. Who wants to give a gift to someone that they're not going to appreciate it? And so
Right.
that's kind of like, when we receive something, we just be grateful for it. And not only that, some people, I mean, you listen to different people in different shares, and you really get an understanding of everybody has something. Everybody has something that they're growing through. Everybody has something that they can appreciate. Everybody has something that maybe it's your missing piece is something that I could easily take for granted. Something that maybe my missing piece is something you could easily take for granted. And so when we bring whatever it is that we do have and we look at that with eyes of gratitude, or even what we don't have with eyes of gratitude, I'm grateful that I don't have this. I'm grateful that I do have this instead. I don't have chaos. I've got peace. Like I'm grateful for
That's
the
right.
peace. And so it's like when we do those different ways of connecting, we're able to really call in more. But it's really interesting. When we hear someone else's share, you just realize how much we're connected. And even if we're on the other side of the world, we are super related in feelings from humanity. I want to say it like that, like feelings from humanity. It's like our human side that really feels. We can connect.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And I'm glad that you brought that up the way you did, because it's the same saying, whatever we focus on expands, right? And that's, I think that a large part of what we see going on in our society today, right? Not just our society, but our like our government and wars and all of this stuff that we're getting pounded by the media for is designed to keep us away from gratitude and love. It's designed to keep us like we are. It's like almost like the powers that be understand law of attraction and law of abundance and all of these things, so we're doing all the work for them, right? if I'm constantly watching people suffering on TV and all this stuff, right? My subconscious, if I'm in co-creation and I'm in a place of lack and of not gratitude, but in fear and sorrow and, just desperation, right? That really, I believe, manifests itself in our society in a bigger way, right? That we don't even understand. Whereas breaking that it's almost like an addiction, right? Breaking that subconscious addiction of feeling lack or separation or sorrow or all of these things. I can be grateful that I've got like this water, right? Like or even earlier, like we were trying to record this podcast and it was like nope, 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 and I'm like going, what the heck, man, this is ridiculous. And I have to just be grateful that number one, I even have the opportunity to do this today, right? Number two, you're available today. Number three, like I'm not going to give up, right? So I just kind of like, okay, so what do I have to do, right? And be grateful that I actually get the opportunity to do that instead of being like, I can't stand all this stuff and da da da, running in my head, which would close that off, which would close it off. And like, this is the first actual episode that I'm doing that goes out. So it's like kind of important to me, right? And but like I felt for a minute, I was like, my blood pressure is getting higher, right? My breathing was, and I've learned over time how to check these things, right? How to check my system. And I find that it always comes back to that gratitude. It always comes back to that, you know? And I think that that really is something that which is why I wanted you to be the first episode, is because gratitude has saved my life over and over and over for 15 plus years in my recovery, right? So I know firsthand its effect and its power, right? And to now see that there's a movement involving gratitude. And like I can remember sitting in meetings and somebody would say, "Oh, the world needs recovery." Da, 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 da. Somebody would say that, right? And now here it is. Here it is. It's like, you know, but it's accessible for everyone, and it's forgotten about. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really beautiful the way that we can help somebody. It's like you said, when you're feeling like you can totally just go into this mental chaos when you feel like there's no way to swim back up. There's like, you feel like maybe it's a the water's getting deeper. Now you're underwater, and now you feel like you're just going all the way down the ocean, and you're like, I just want to get back up. I just want to breathe. Like, I don't care if I'm in the chaos ocean. At least I can breathe in the chaos ocean. Just let me come back up for air. And I feel like gratitude helps us get us there. It uplifts us. It brings us out of those depths of self where we could really go into this like sabotage, where we could go into this worry, where and sabotage doesn't always look like I'm so mean to myself. No, it looks like a like sometimes self-sabotaging, it could feel like this hurt. It just feels like this hurt, and you're just hanging on to the hurt. I know I've gone through that, where like I'll and then releasing that with love and gratitude and having compassion, knowing that everybody is going on their own journey. In those rooms, we see that everybody has a journey. There's nobody there that has this perfect life. Everybody has something. And we don't always say what the story is, but you could sense it. And then you see that the person's looking at the brighter side of their life, and the way that they're doing it, it really inspires and encourages you to do the same.
That's
Things
right.
things that we don't realize how much gratitude. One of the things that I had an epiphany on, because you'll have epiphanies in those spaces, and that's why it's important, like, for us to bring it out to everyone. Eventually it'll be to all communities, all different types of communities, and when we come together, we're able to see things and have clarity and epiphanies that we wouldn't have had otherwise, because we're listening to someone else's perspective on gratitude for that day. And sometimes I know I've had that epiphany where, you know, who will never betray my love? Like, love me. Who will love me unconditionally? And I was like, the sun does. The sun. The sun. The sun shining on you gives you life, gives life to the entire planet. Love, feeling that love, that warmth. And I was like, I'm grateful for the sun and for, you know, the unconditional love that it gives. I didn't have to do anything to earn it, to make it love me still. I could just go outside and feel loved, feel like I am the miracle that I am, because this whole planet's a miracle. And every day is a miracle. And gratitude helps us see that. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. For me, I think I go more like for whatever reason, same thing, but the moon. You know, it just sun and moon. They're just there every day. They don't judge. They don't do anything, but they love us in ways that we don't even understand just by being there, right? By creating life. I mean, if we didn't have that, man, life, what would we have, right? And I think that also with gratitude, I noticed that at first it might be tough for people, right? It takes a little work, especially coming from, some people have come from some pretty harsh backgrounds and harsh environments and stuff like that. And that's why the clubhouse room is so important to me, is because it allows people to come in every day, right? And not in a sense of being accountable per se, but developing that habit, right? That's why, like, meditations and different practices, um, it's always like 21 days, right? You build up that habit, right? Recovery, it's like every day for 90 days, right? It's like there's a reason behind it. And it's because we have to undo all this nonsense, right? And then once you get to that part, I like, for me, it's like all of a sudden I feel light and free, right? Like I'm able to, like, all that heaviness that we get from life, if we just focus on the 3D stuff, starts to dissipate and go away. It makes me lighter. It makes me easier to, like, be happy doing whatever, right? Doing anything. But that first part is like, I think that's the trick, and that's why it's, I just really, I can remember when I first stumbled across that room, um, thinking, oh my god, finally somebody figured out a way to get this message to more people, to make a bigger impact on the word, and it's just by on the world, just by being grateful, right?
Yeah.
It's like the brakes come off, the weights get lifted. It's easier to maneuver through things and be receptive. And like you said earlier, that's how we attract what we want. It's, the law of manifestation and attraction isn't just some woo woo shishi la la stuff. It actually is a thing. And then like we start to realize that abundance isn't the lubba lubbas. It's not the money. It's not the houses and the cars. The abundance is everything that we already have. The sun is abundance. The moon is abundance. There's a orchard full of apples is abundance, right? And it removes that. I don't know. I want to say the illusion of competition, kind of in a way. You know what I mean?
When you truly embrace it,
Yeah.
that's where it is. That's where it's
Yeah.
at. Because we're all in this planet. I'm like so happy. I'm like so happy. But that's like you hit on so many great points with that. With it's our planet is already a miracle. We're already here, which is a miracle. We've existed for how long? That's a miracle right there. And so you look at all of these different miracles. If you're part of this planet, you're not denied the planet.
Right.
You have already been given. You
Yeah.
already have received.
That's like earlier you said something about the maybe your life's not perfect, and it's like I think about my spiritual master, and he says stuff like this, like, and actually I say it too. I catch myself every once in a while, but everything is actually, when we get to that place of gratitude, we realize that everything actually is perfect, and all of the things that it took, all of the billions of things that it took to happen correctly this today, right? Even in the last like 3 hours, there's been millions of things that have had to occur that were perfectly timed, perfectly orchestrated, perfectly carried out, that I had nothing to do with, right? So of course but it has to do with me being alive. Like, my digestion has to work. I have what, 64,000 thoughts per minute or something, and I'm only conscious of like 20 of them, right? But that's controlling things like our heartbeat, our blood pressure, our breathing, um, everything that we see and we take in, right? The gravity, the sun coming up, the moon coming up, all of these things, the distance of the planet from the sun, right? That we didn't all of a sudden get pulled out of orbit, that, all of these things that we forget about, that we don't think about. And when you're in gratitude, it's not like you think about them more, but something inside of us aligns. Like Joe Dispenza was, I was watching a thing about him, and something that he was talking about, and he's like talking about like when we're doing manifestation and attracting, like stepping into a new timeline, or stepping into what we're trying to become, or what we actually already are in this infinite. I mean, it's infinite. So and he's like saying, it's kind of like you have a, when you get into that love and gratitude, that's like your internet hookup, right? Now that you've got that connected to universe, and you're connected, then it's a matter of changing your vibration. And how do you do that? You change it with that gratitude, right? Then it's easier for me to become that wealthy, uh, philanthropist that's able to help people on a massive scale. That's actually out there getting people off the street and into a rehab and with a job, and that kind of thing. And gratitude is really like, it's kind of like the key, for lack of a better term. It's kind of like, or maybe it's a piece of that combination that we have to get right. It's like, if you have a little, like a one of those old bike locks, right? And you've got the little sliders across, and there's like five of them, right? You got to get that first one. I got to get the gratitude, then I got to get the vibration, then I got to get the love, then I got to do this, right? And it's really, once you get that gratitude, the rest of that combination kind of just kind of falls into place, kind of, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we find those pieces are always there. We always have everything we need. We are always whole. We are always complete. It's we're just always shifting. We're just always going through a different change, a different transition in some way. And when we're going through those different changes, it's so powerful when we can really observe the positive things that we do have. We do have this. I'm grateful for that. And when we do that, we're just adding more into that part of self. And then we're able to call more. It's almost like I kind of think of it like sometimes, like, I know it sounds weird to say it this way, but like, when you're like playing poker or something, and then like you put in like, oh, I'm gonna put in, and so it's like you're putting in, you know, gratitude for this, and then that it's gonna come back though. That isn't like a maybe. That's that's gonna come back. That's for you. You just keep trusting, you keep having that faith, keep having that belief, the belief of gratitude for this. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I could put that in. I'm grateful for that. And you're never at a loss. It's like the greatest because you don't have to like ever lose. You always have something. You always have something. And that's part of like what we're doing right now. Right now we currently have an auction going on.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
we should get to that. Yeah. Let me pull that up. Go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to pull it up here.
Okay. Yeah. Right now we've got the auction going, and the auction, we had some speakers speak on World Gratitude Day, which is September 21st. Kind of like the Earth, Wind, and Fire song. They go, do you remember? It's the 21st night of September. That's what they say in there. I thought that was really ironic. I was like, wow.
The song is called September.
Yeah. And they talk about the 21st. And so I was like, wow, like it's gratitude, and it's World Gratitude Day. And so it's really nice. And right now what we're doing we're just, we had some speakers, some beautiful speakers, just a lot of conscious living, people having these different types of businesses, and people bringing different coaching and different things into the frequency for more people to feel uplifted. Remember earlier we were talking about, you were saying about so much negativity, and it kind of amplifies a human culture of negativity. And then now what we're doing is we're having these, we have these different leaders out there that they practice gratitude, and they're very passionate about it, and they're bringing that out there. And when they do that, then we're able to really amp up the positive energy around the world. So it's really been very significant. And what we're doing right now is we have this fundraiser going on, and you guys can check out the website for the fundraiser, and beyond. If you want to check out our website, we also have dailygratitudemovement.org, and that we also have, in case anybody wants to donate. But right here we have all of the auction stuff, and this is only going on until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So if anybody wants to auction, get involved in the auction and get and pick up some cool stuff, we really have like a mix of things. We've got the speakers who are offering different things, and then we also have like different items from the people who are also members of Daily Gratitude Movement that have, and some people that just donated different things to help contribute, to get this off the ground. And all of the contributions are definitely going towards the nonprofit. We are officially a nonprofit, and we also have we're bringing it so that way we can use any and all the proceeds for funding it, going right back into the movement and making the movement expand, because that's what we're really we're really gearing this towards is getting this into schools at the earliest age possible and getting it to handy abled so people can start to feel. I mean, I personally have seen the healing benefits of gratitude, the practice of daily gratitude. And that is very profound to me. We have people that, they went from barely talking on the app to moderating rooms and all of that. And they, in the handy able, I mean, leaps by leaps
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And that goes with all things. And I like here, I'm going to share it one more time. The auction right here, like how we were talking about, mindset. Look, right on the top, we have a mindset coach right here, right? Didn't I just see that? Where did I see that? Um, yeah, exclusive empowerment, another coaching session. All of these things are designed to help us break out of that sense of lack and that fear that we experience right now. And it's
Hmm.
huge. And I've seen the same thing, like so many people, myself included, right? Like I'm in rooms talking to people all over the world, right, about some really big conversations, whether it's climate or abundance or food insecurities and all of these things, and coming up with ways and solutions that we can actually make a difference instead of sitting back and being stuck. Instead of
Hmm.
being stuck, you know.
And I
So
think,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and I think that's a very valid point right there because we're really moving society into this, and not even moving them like if we're the only ones. Everybody is moving. It's a kind of like this global effort to help heal what we've been damaging on the planet, you know, and
Yeah,
that going eco friendly and being very concerned about environmental changes and all of that. And, gratitude really helps us to gain an understanding of how important what we have is, because sometimes in a gratitude share you'll hear somebody say, I really miss the bees. And then
yeah,
I'm grateful for that we have plants, but I'm really missing the bees. And then we start to make this like, oh wow, there's yeah, okay, so now you see different people. And I've seen more people that are that have really practiced with gratitude, and some of the some really important changes have been happening as far as like seeing stuff just through gratitude. Through sharing gratitude, we're able to see what do we need, what do we need to be doing to nurture the planet, what do we need to be doing to heal the planet, what do we need to be doing to heal ourselves. And it
right.
works from the inside out, that gratitude. And we just heal it, and it heals everything around us.
Yeah, when you talk about because obviously you know me and you know that I'm trying to do this massive soil thing, and that's really part of it is when people start to have when I see an individual who doesn't have any maybe self-esteem or doesn't have any of that self-love, right? Because that's really what it is. That's one of the things that I saw on that page was it was talking about self-love, and having gratitude really is about self-love. Once you have that and you can develop and nurture that, right, that connection, like when you were talking about the bees, right, and stuff like that, it like opens that door that allows me now to understand that I am connected to this planet, right? And that if I can make somebody's life better simply by trying to figure out a way to uh, nurture those bees back into the world or make that situation better, right? Then because of that connection and that openness and that oneness, that allows me to become that, to become that, and
Mm.
to actually understand it, even though I might not really understand it at first, or maybe I think maybe we never really truly do understand it, but it opens that conduit, it opens that connection that reminds me of why I'm here. I'm not just here to have a job at Home Depot or wherever, right? I'm not just here to pay the rent for somebody who owns the house through some corporation that owns a whole block. I'm not here just to serve that. I'm actually here to, number one, be grateful for this beautiful thing that we've manifested, that we've created, right? And number two, to take care of it, to take care of it. And if I don't have gratitude, then I don't have any respect or love for that. And when I don't have respect or love for that, I don't have respect or love for myself, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And and not and that's the thing too, is that how are we leaving this planet? That's one of the things that I personally, and I think, like, I want to leave the planet in better condition than I came onto it.
Right.
And I want to make that change, make that impact with others.
Yeah. That saying you threw out there the other day, I've said it over and over, is the one that goes, "We're not here just to experience the world, but the world is here to experience us." And I think that is like brilliant because it really is true, and it makes you think about like, what do I look like on the camera, right? While I'm being ungrateful, self-centered, egotistical, right? What is the world seeing? My like, am I just stomping through on concrete and just throwing my crap everywhere and being a bitter person? Snapping at people, or am I like contributing something that's bigger than myself and coming from a place of love as much as I possibly can? And that is, gratitude again is the doorway through that, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like this, like, it's it's knowing that, like, you experience someone else and you see them do the thing. Oh man, like that, the oh man, and all of that, right? And like, we look like that too, and we do, oh man. And so it's like that we're shaking the vibration every single time we choose what we're going to be embodying. How are we giving? Are we giving with kindness, or are we giving with this, like, forcefulness? Because it's all
Transaction.
frequency. Yes. And it's
Yeah.
how you give, not just that you give, but were you giving with real solid intentions that can be felt. And it's like the feel gratitude. Some people come in, they don't really yet. They don't really feel it yet, man. They had, like, something happen, and they're just it's not something that they can really embrace, but they know that it's a place that they can really help uplift themselves. And
Yes.
when people come in like that, I always like to encourage them to keep coming. And I always like to say, because we pour back. That's how it works in those rooms where what are you grateful for? They say what they're grateful for. And then we pour back as moderators. And we've been trained to do that too, where we look at it with authenticity, with what that person just shared.
Mhm.
Authentically look, and what are you really grateful for? for the gratitude that they gave. And so it's kind of like a pour back of energy. It's this, reciprocation of energy that we're doing in there.
It kind of is like we talked about earlier. It's focusing on that good and then expanding it
Yeah.
by reaffirming it. And then it's really interesting because like some days, a lot of days, I can feel it just like grow, and this beautiful energy is like filling the environment around me, right? Even though we're all over the place, right? This is somebody else's gratitude list, right? Excuse me. And and yet it's like the sun starts glowing around me, and I have nothing to do with it other than just listening to it with an open heart and an open mind, and allowing that to just be its self, without judgment, without expectation, without any interaction, just listening. And then it'll go on through a couple other people, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And like I know that some days that's all it takes to like flip my little whatever little lava is going on, right? And it's important. It's important. It really is important. Changes our whole entire day. Changes, and when it changes the day, and you do it for a few days in a row, then all of a sudden you've got a week of just like beautiful, like great, you know. And when there's like some sort of chaos that comes, you're better equipped to handle it. And you don't do the reaction, and instead you respond, or actually have the ability to pause a minute and not do anything.
That is something that when people come in and they're upset, that's what I wanted to say earlier, is it if they can't find something to be grateful for, because they just can't at that moment. Sometimes some people, they're honest. I just can't right now. I just had this or that happen, and I don't know what to do. I feel this way and that way. And then, it's rare that we get those shares, but they do happen sometimes. And that's what that space is for. It's for us to just go in there and just share gratitude. It's not to go in there and then just say all of the negative, but sometimes some people, they stress out about these different things going on, and they're just really earnestly trying to find the gratitude in that moment, and they simply cannot, and they're trying to do that, and they'll come in the space. And with those, I like to remind them that you know that vulnerability to come into the space, that's something to be grateful for, because that's powerful. That's powerful.
Actually, actually, it is, and that's one of the things that I love about some of those rooms, not just the daily gratitude movement, but that we have developed a community, several little communities within that app, where that love and that non-judgmental, right? Where I can tell somebody, and I've done it. I've been in rooms with you where like somebody wasn't able to get grateful, and yet we're able to say, you know what? I'm just grateful that you had the strength to be vulnerable enough to say where you're even coming from. And maybe you might not feel grateful about that now, but later on you can feel grateful about your strength, because that takes more toughness and more guts than acting like an angry, bitter person, and uh, allowing myself to be succumb to like depression, right?
Hmm.
That's really powerful, because the other alternative might be that that person doesn't say anything, doesn't even try or keep an open mind of just how powerful that even being finding a place to be grateful, just that little sliver, right, can have, right? Because stuff can get out of hand when you get depressed and down and sad and you don't have anybody to talk to and stuff. And we've seen that. We've seen that, right? And so it really is. I don't know. I'm all into the woo woo, she la la stuff, you know. But it is magic. It is magic. It's like it is a form of magic, I think, right? It's part of that spark that life is made out of.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And I've just seen it really transform so many different people. I mean, it's transformed me, I mean, I have quite a story too, okay? Like I wasn't always who I am, like I have gone through some stuff, and I practiced gratitude, for years, and I would write it down, and it was just me and a pen and paper and gratitude. And now that, we have this space in Clubhouse, and we have this space, we have a group too on Facebook where we share gratitude. There's even a chat in there where some people, they'll just go onto the little messenger, the messenger chat in Facebook, and then they'll just give their little gratitude, and then they'll go on about their day. So it's like whatever way you prefer. You could even go on Instagram, hashtag DGM365, and then represent. I'm just kidding. Like represent, and then but like
That's true.
yeah, you put that up there, then it's like you're able to put it out there and have someone else see it when they type that in the search engine, and then you can we can give and receive,
It's a chain reaction.
visually, because we're also very big on the handy abled community. There's people in Clubhouse that they are visually impaired, but they receive gratitude through listening to everybody and being able to pour back. And so it's really important that we bring this to everyone, and everyone can experience that. It's just everybody deserves to feel the miracle that they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Feel the miracle that they are. It's true. And I will post all of the links. I'm gonna post this up on Facebook. I'm so glad that man, people have no idea what was going on.
Oh my
I kept
goodness.
getting booted out. Kept getting booted out, and I was like, "What the heck, man? Why can't I just do this simple thing?" And I had to like sit there and just like realize, hey, it's all right. It's not nobody's. But but I'm really glad that we got to do this. I'm really glad that you hung in there and that we didn't just throw in the towel and say screw it.
Nah.
Gratitude, just like everything, especially in our society, all that negative stuff, like people talking at the water cooler, that's contagious. And the only people that are going to stop that is us. And we have to stop it here first as individuals. And gratitude is like that's the doorway, man. That's the doorway. It's the
Yeah,
key.
definitely.
You know, and then we stop doing that, and all of a sudden you have an environment that's not talking about, oh, did you see on CNN, did you see about the guy, did you hear about the dude who's got, it's like, you know what, we don't need to, we already know all that stuff, we already know it. Let's talk about how beautiful this planet is and how awesome we all are as individuals and as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is
Right.
it's just been such a beautiful time here. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just I'm enjoying this. I'm like, I love talking about gratitude. Man, I can talk about
Yeah, I know.
gratitude all day. I'm like, what are we
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
talk about with gratitude now? Like I love it. I love I feel like
It's
I'm getting
contagious.
fed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like I'm who else can I interview today? Right? You know what I mean? Like, what am I? Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jeya.
and just keep keep up with the movement. You can definitely sign up for our newsletter. We just got that going. We're, a brand new nonprofit, so we're still babies. We're still wiggling around. We're getting used to it, being able to move the head a little bit, and so like we're getting used to it. We're getting a little wild, but it's a perfect time for people to get involved. We're always looking for volunteers in different areas, and anyone who maybe you don't have the time, but you do want maybe like a tax write-off or something. I don't know those things. Check with your tax professional, okay? And like that kind of stuff. And because we're officially a nonprofit, and so it's really opened us up to how can we do this now, what else is possible. And so we're just so excited now, and we just encourage anybody, you just check out our links, sign up, get involved, and help wherever you can. And if helping yourself is that's where it's at, then that's where it's at, man, because that's where it starts. That's where it starts, is in the heart.
That's right.
And you got to help yourself before you can give that to anyone else. And so yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll post all the links. Yeah, get involved. The auction goes on until what? When does it end?
Tonight at
Tonight. Okay.
11:59. And then after that, just keep posted. That's why I was saying, check out the main website too, and we're getting stuff up there. We're always switching things up because we're adding more events now. So keep you stay in the loop, so that way you can get the newest events, and you can really check it out. I mean, we had amazing speakers, and we're going to continue to have more speakers down the line. And it would just be, there is rich content right there, really rich content that you gain. And it's it doesn't cost you anything. You just go in there, and and then we do our auction stuff, and you're able to just bid, and all those proceeds go towards the cause. You can even buy items. We do have a store on the website now, so that's
Okay.
also an option. And
That's important. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So thank you for
Awesome.
inviting me here. I'm so excited.
Likewise. We got the show going now. So finally,
Yes.
awesome. All right, Jeya. Thank you again. And the Daily Gratitude Movement, everybody, be part of it. It really is changing things. So, all right.
All
I'll
right.
let you go.
Thank you, Wes. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Again, I will post everything on all my socials. You can find the Daily Gratitude Movement on Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse. I definitely suggest download that app. You can find a room or a conversation about really everything, whether it's real estate or pitching a business or climate change or crypto or daily current events. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it there. Huge community, and it's a beautiful platform as well. And I will go ahead and sign out. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you on the